What are you doing?
Yo, everybody. How we doing today?
She's here. Are you? You are not coming in my live dressed like that. Oh my God. Is she
Canadian
serious?
is late. Oh,
Whatever. I do what I want.
I didn't have time to sew the other patch, but if you want a T-shirt like that, it's the good Die Young. You can
man,
find them
fucking
online.
day. What do you mean you didn't have time?
They sponsored me to model for them, so I have a bunch of T-shirts from them. And this was my favorite one, Whores Not Wars.
I mean, I prefer whores over wars. So I would agree with that statement.
Yeah, it's like a biker conservative T-shirt company.
So Good Troll's not here. Don't know. Did you drop the ball on this?
No, I did not. I told him, do you want me to check?
No, I messaged him. And if he messages, then we'll add him in. So the way that I thought that this, because we realized too that Good Troll can't mute either one of us. Only me and Tex can mute people, which kind of sucks. So Tex has sworn that he will mute me.
Oh, hell yeah. I do it.
I don't think it's going to be that hard for him.
I don't think it's going to be this hard.
Yeah.
So Tex, you should move the boxes around. You need to go on the bottom.
Listen, the funnest thing I like to do on this podcast is
get underneath me, Tex.
That's not going to happen. But I do like muting Kat, as I just have, just to demonstrate.
And I can unmute myself. So why don't you move the boxes around?
Then I can mute her again. And then we don't have to worry about listening.
Good Troll's here. Good Troll, do you have the link? Do you want to mod from within the club?
I thought the mods were just going to get out and let y'all two debate.
Well, that's what you guys are going to do. So you and Good Troll will go backstage. And then me and Lizzie had thought that it might be kind of a cool idea about like halfway through, maybe a little bit more than halfway through. We'll bring the boys on and give like the male perspective from our conversation. And it would be like a 4-way kind of thing. And we won't charge you extra.
Well, you can tip me.
Yeah, Good Troll, you have a box. Lizzie, you sent him the link, right?
Yes, I did. It should be at his Instagram.
Yeah, if you go into your Instagram and click in, then you'll have a box in the back room, and then we're gonna bring you guys in like halfway through. And then for our mods that are in the chat, we normally don't ask you to heavily mod, but if you see it getting like a little too ridiculous, I don't want any of the I'm actually more worried about the anti-OnlyFans people. Don't need them coming in here and calling people like whores and skanks and all the rest of it. Like we're actually trying.
You don't like that word here.
We're actually trying to do somewhat of a calm. If they're overly disrespectful, get rid of them. Obviously, we also got word that we have a couple of special celebrity viewers this evening. So if they come in kind of starting it, then they'll be removed. So we're not doing this the way that we would do it on TikTok. So we have both the mods are here. They're in the back room. So ladies first, I'll just let you, I don't know how you want to do this. I mean, it was my idea, but.
Well, you said that we had, like, you wanted me to, I'm more of a, I'm the clapback queen, more of a rebuttal person, but I'll start first if you want.
Yeah.
I have a whole notebook. I actually came prepared.
No, I love it. Oh, wait,
so
Liz, turn your phone sideways real quick. You'll fill up the whole box. If it works for you. If not, then you can do it the other way.
I don't know what my stand is with this.
I almost wore like an asshole shirt too, and I didn't. And now I wish I kind of would have. I wore my Star Wars shirt. my shirt.
And am I safe to smoke on YouTube?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, you're fine on YouTube.
Okay. So for the most part, I'm not gonna I've never said that there is no issues with OnlyFans. Like obviously there's evils in all platforms. Human trafficking can be found in everything. I made the argument where me promoting my link, well then what if you work at a shoe store, you're selling Nike shoes, and then you sell Nike shoes to someone, then you have a hand in child labor because they're known for that and they do nothing about it. Contrary to that, OnlyFans does a transparency statement every few months because they have the scrutiny on them. So they do the transparency statement, and there's always a section devoted to that and what they're doing to remove that.
Oh
Do
yeah.
I say it doesn't exist? It exists. But of all the porn sites, to me, it gives the power to the content creator as opposed to being these big head honchos where you're agreeing to do a girl on girl and you get there and you're getting a train ran on you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no choice because that's a lot of the traumatic instances in the porn industry. Majority of especially the big creators, it's only solo. Like, I'm by myself in my content. I prefer it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm 34 years old. One thing I am adamant about is 18 should not be the entry age. If they could put it to 21, like gambling or something, would make more sense to me. Preferably, it would be after 25, like full frontal lobe. Then you could start. But that's something I would like to see in it. Also, um, it's like an illogical idea to think that you can just remove porn and this will just the world will be a better place. Unfortunately, in the psychology of most sexual abusers, repression is involved. That's why you see a lot of it in certain repressive religions. In fact, my own personal experience when promoting OnlyFans on Snapchat, I had to kind of discriminate because certain cultures, certain men, I had one call me repeatedly crying because he needed a nude like immediately, and he had to have it now, and it
Mm-hmm.
was unsettling. So now I kind of have to discriminate against those ones. Um, Another thing for the argument that children can easily access it if they go and get a prepaid card, and then they'll come back, and then they have to do all of this without their parents seeing it or finding out. When
Mm-hmm.
it's just way easier for them to type in boobies and penises in Google.
Or
So
Pornhub.
the likelihood that your kid knows of an OnlyFans creator they want to see and goes to that extent, it's unlikely. Could it happen? Possibly. Here in Canada, a kid can't get a prepaid card. But they card me for one. So,
Mm-hmm.
but apparently in the States they don't. The likelihood is, and unfortunately that is something that has always been the case. I mean, I remember being a kid and we found the TV channels that were scrambled,
Mm-hmm.
and you were just like, "Oh, was that a dick?" Like, "Oh shit," or Sears catalogs. You're not going to be able to repress that out of. They're curious, you know what I mean? But is OnlyFans that dangerous for kids to be going to view it? No. And the argument I have for promoting it on social media is I have to. OnlyFans does not have a For You page where people are just going to discover who's recommended to them. They need to know you and they need to have the link.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also people that think they could just start an OnlyFans and like it doesn't matter, nobody will find out. You have to go in being like people are going to find out, and that's why I came out just being like I started one because
Right.
a big problem that they do encounter is there's a lot of leaks, and I think that they should work harder at how Snapchat notifies you of screenshots and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a hard programming thing to implicate into OnlyFans. It should be
can't
made
be.
into an app.
Mhm.
It should be an app instead of a website, in my opinion. I think it would be better monitored that way.
Well, hold on, because you're going through all of them.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Because I want to talk about just like a couple of them. Because like, so when I think that like if we eliminated pornography in a whole, if it would eliminate all of the problems? No. Like, I'm obviously not like a rainbows and butterflies. If we get rid of pornography in a whole, it's always going to exist in some way, shape, or form, right? My issue is the overabundance of it. It's not like just it's there's multiple different sites, there's multiple different everywhere, and then you also have it mixed in with just like my key phrase, my hypersexuality in all movies, all TV shows, all music. So for me, if we eliminate any of it, it's positive. because of supply and demand. Like that's always been my standpoint on it. Like there's so much demand for it right now, like to kind of piggyback off of the guy that you had, right? Like the scary guy that was like calling you nonstop. Like that's a really uncomfortable experience. Like you feel violated in that situation because you're not in control of that. That's not you owning it, you know, like someone's being psycho to you. And my worry is that like, are we doing that to people's brains by overthrowing like everything sex in everybody's face all the time, that like it's fucking people up worse than what it would? And then it worries me, like if he can't get them from OnlyFans people, or if he can't get them from this, at some point is he gonna hit up an underage kid on Snapchat? Or so it's and like with the promotion, like there's ways to do that. Like I don't get annoyed by at all. Like I have lots of friends who have spicy pages, and the way that they promote it, like, you know, and they've like snuck it in and they've been like, oh, and they put the little pepper or whatever.
You have to on TikTok, but yeah.
But with like coming out like half naked on the app and being like, oh, spicy page. It like I can't stand that on TikTok, especially because their core demographic, you know, like it ain't us. Like it's not people our age. Like I think most of it is like 13 to 18.
The core
demographic on TikTok in a whole, like the users.
Maybe yeah, on users, but they have we all have our own little algorithm. That's why our little echo chamber of drama doesn't really get anywhere, right?
Right.
So you can see in your own statistics like the average age. And I'm not targeting no 18-year-old boy that's gonna have to use his mom's credit card. I want like 40-year-old divorcee who's got money to give out. That's not who I'm targeting.
Yeah, it's the largest portion of TikTok users is 10 to 19 years.
But my thing is when I'm promoting my OnlyFans, I can see who views my content, and you also have a toggle for 18 plus. Do I trust that?
Well, no, because I mean, I can create a TikTok right now with a fake email address, fake age, you know, say I'm 30, even if I'm not 30.
Exactly. But you know where you can?
Over on OnlyFans.
So the argument of, oh, well, I could just subscribe and I don't even have to put my credit card and I can see, no, you go on the For You page of you can open it right now. You're not going to see anything. It's like recipes and gym workouts. Obviously, they're working out at angles, but there's nothing. You're not going to see any full nude or nothing on OnlyFans. Like as just a page like that, you have, if you want to subscribe to somebody, you need to have your credit card attached. And I used to work for Comcast. Actually, I was answering phone calls for the States here in Montreal. And before any of this, there was pay-per-view on your TV, and kids were getting to that. Before that, this has always been like there's always been a hypersexualized media around, like the 50s, the pinups, the way back. I remember I did the argument where the religious paintings, it's all they're banging each other. There's naked kids everywhere.
They're not banging each other, but they are all naked.
It's draped over, you know what I mean? And I think one of the big issues too with when you like a lot of kids that come out of like religious trauma, let's say, a lot of it, they end up in sexual depravity because they've been told like it's so bad, like it's bad. So they keep it secret. And when you keep things secret, you start maybe going down some dark rabbit holes looking into other secret things. And that's how a lot of
I will.
It could go both ways. Yeah.
I will 100% agree with you on that, because there's a difference between, you know, like shaming, which does happen a lot, especially in these overly extreme religious households, right? There's a lot of shaming. They don't even talk about what body parts even are, let alone calling them the correct term. And then they just throw their kids out into this really hypersexualized world, and it's going to get crazy. But my thing is like, why does that even need to be a thing? Like, why do we feel the need to hypersexualize everything from music all the way up to like doing pornography to stripping to prostitution to all of it is just kind of like, do we really need that? Does it serve a greater good or a greater bad?
I can argue that both. It can obviously, like I said, I'm not going to say that there's no evils in it. Do I think there should be some reform? Yes, but I will say that humans are horny. Is that's in this us?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some of the best music is and media is it's aesthetically pleasing for people to see it. So people are going to look for it. If you start repressing it from them, the bad ones are going to go out and take it, and that's when darker things could happen. And one of the things, like when you were sharing, what was going on with human trafficking and all that, a bit of it was outdated because it was when there was a big controversy with OnlyFans, and OnlyFans was encountering issues with banks. Banks was not handing out the money because they didn't want to do business with them because of all the allegations that were coming out. So they reformed that, and they have extra security measures. They check up on me like every few months to make sure that my content matches my face and all that. And the thing that brought back porn content on OnlyFans was sex workers saying, "What are you doing? You're putting us back in the hands of pimps and men that take advantage of us."
Yeah,
on OnlyFans, I have
on the reform that they've done.
Yeah, and it was like you're giving us power to control our content and the power of exit and boundaries. I wanted to start doing more content like that because I've actually had a lot of people, I'm not going to say their names, but they approached me for advice on how to start a page. Because there's a lot of misconceptions about it, and it's promoted to way too young as being this like you're going to be famous, you're going to be. It's and it's also not like I'm just laying around doing nothing. If I want to get anywhere, it's full time. You're promoting this. This isn't like it took from 9 a.m. My kid goes to sleep. That's when I do the content. But throughout the day, I'm doing all the promos on that.
Right.
And you're dealing with a lot.
But those promos are the ones like when you say, it's being promoted to way too young of an age that, it's glamorous and it's this. You do have to acknowledge that some of your promos could potentially be being seen by 13, 14.
That's why I wanted to do more. So I wanted to start doing content of being like, hey, listen, like this is what you need to know. Because it is inevitable. It's like, oh, what about your kid? Well, if my kid is 19 and he says, I'm starting a spicy page, so I want him to feel comfortable with that, I know what to tell him. I have the ability, like if I started this at 20 years old, there'd be some, I probably, but I am extremely firm on my boundaries. And one thing, like I was working with a promotional company, but I was just like, you're trying to make me something I'm not. I'd rather do it and enjoy it and I like editing. So your whole like no filters or anything, it has to be plain, not my style. And he kept trying to make me be somebody I wasn't. And I was like, no, I'm Trailer Swift. Like you want to change the name? And I was like, no. But I'm really firm on that. Like I get requests in DMs and it's no, I don't do that. But staying firm in your boundaries and not going against that for an extra buck is definitely a huge thing. I would advertise, and I would also say like don't expect to get anywhere with no work and no social media presence. Don't think that you can do it anonymously and get any because you need a social media presence.
You can't. And like something that I was wondering is like, because like obviously when we first set this up, like I'm kind of glad that it was delayed a week because I feel like it was really like it was getting heated and it was getting personal and it was getting really angry and people had big feelings about it on both sides of it, so big feelings were like clashing all over the app. And like I feel like this conversation wouldn't have been heard like at all. They would have been like, ugh. But I'm also glad because like I had time to kind of think on it and talk to a couple of my friends who are like really anti-porn and like huge into traffic, like anti-trafficking, not huge into trafficking, and anti-trafficking. And I was like, I can have this conversation with her coming from, you know, like my religious standpoints, my moral standpoints, my personal opinion standpoints. But at the end of the day, like, you're going to do this, whether I like it or not. And I'm not going to like it, whether you like it or not. So like, my question to you would be like, when you get these requests, right? Because like, you're going to get weirdos. Like,
it's extremely
like,
rare in a subscriber, honestly.
Right.
They're so respectful. Yeah.
I also want to make it crystal clear. Like, I don't shame anybody that does it. Like, my heart hurts sometimes just because like I was in that industry for 9 years and I have no problem admitting that, like zero problem. But like what I also, so like I know the industry a little bit and like you're going to get those requests. So like, do you have the tools that you need? Like the places to report in Canada if you have someone that is being really weird with you and wants you to do like kid kinks, or do you know what to look for in profiles? Because like that's a good middle way. Like, hey, she's like inside, you're there, you can see it. So like, do you have those resources? And is that something that like you would actively report?
I haven't had any instance because, like I said, it's from my social media following. A lot of my subscribers, I know who they are.
Right.
So, and you know, the ones I do pay-per-view content, so I'm sending out DMs with you if you want to see this pay. So I'm DMing with these people, and I'll get replies back. So it's just like none of them had made me feel uncomfortable. But if they got to a level, OnlyFans does that you don't see much. But if you feel like somebody is dangerous or there's an instance, you can request it from them.
Okay.
So and you can block them, and then it's same as Instagram. It's like, yeah, no, this guy can't make another. They'll let him create it and do more, but if he bothers somebody else, then he's banned completely. But before that, he can't contact me.
And do you have like the ability to, like, if someone were to send you like CP, right? If they were like, this is what I'm into, and send you CP, like, do you have the
I can report
ability
that
within the site to do that, like to have it put to authorities and all that?
Well,
stuff?
the moderators are looking at the DMs as well.
Okay.
Like, it's not only robots, like there's physical human beings that are going in those DMs and making sure what you're sending privately is up to par as well. Is there going to be a leak or two? Yes. But I think responsible content creators.
Asking you a question about that because she had said it with your recent leaks that raise, like, does it raise any, like, do I really want to do this anymore if it's being leaked?
It wasn't leaked. That was actually the company that I was working with. They didn't let me. They never worked with somebody before like me, and I just kept having to remind her, like, I have more haters than fans. Like, you can't do that kind of shit. Like, they put a bio that was outlandish and like personal, like being like, oh, my husband cheated on me, so I'm doing. Like, I was like, whoa. But I didn't know they had made a Twitter where they were dropping full nudes and like the worst possible pictures too. And that's when he asked me to pay him, and I said no. And I said, look what happened. And he said, oh, never mind about the bill. And you know, it was something that like going in, that was like, it's probably going to happen. Like, I haven't had any leaks from OnlyFans itself.
Okay.
But if they did, I look hot. Like, I don't really give a fuck. That was my mentality. I don't really care. And, you know, although my mom is extremely judgmental, I also, like I said, I have pictures of her laid out in that high-waist bikini in the 80s on a Trans Am, so she can.
What happened to her?
Sorry?
Oh, you're back.
My friend just called me at the worst possible time. So yeah, that was something that I was like, you need to have the mindset like that's gonna happen. If it doesn't, cool. But you have to have that mind. Leaks are the bigger issue on OnlyFans that they need to manage a little bit better. And it can, and basically is the people resell it. But one thing I love and would push me to actually be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do OnlyFans, is that if a leak does happen, OnlyFans offers to pursue them on their buck on their own, and they get all they have all the details of who to go at, which is another point on the human trafficking thing and everything else. There's paywalls and there's tracing transactions. So there's ways to get to It's like, to me, like if there's like a trafficker,
Mhm.
OnlyFans is a little bit riskier than going through the dark web or whatnot. You know, it happens. It happens. The way they no, I have looked into it. The way they do it, a lot of the time, like there was one really sad story where they took a woman's kid and they said, "Do this, or I'm gonna hurt your kid." It happens, but it happens on all platforms. They're on TikTok. I mean, I've gone into that lane because
Yeah.
I'm looking up sounds for my promotions, and I'm going, that girl don't look like she looks like she's in a base. She doesn't look
Right. She's not having fun. She
no.
right.
But unfortunately, like there's some people like I genuinely like doing it. I'm not, nothing. I don't feel. If anything, it's been a self-esteem boost for me. And I don't go out of my boundaries, and I haven't seen any or been treated badly. They're extremely. If anything, they're a bit scared of me. They're asking things, but
It's
I
just,
haven't had that experience. Some people want to pursue that.
Awkward now that we get along. This is so awkward now that we
Look at us.
I know, because like I'm trying to think of how I want to word things. Like
You're not going to offend me. I've done these several times, like
Okay.
interviews, and I've had like straight up douchebags ask like the worst
So,
questions.
for
So you can
me-
ask me anything. Yeah.
just somebody that's done it before, right? Like I remember when I was 18, 19, 20, early 20s, right? I was making anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 a night. I was like, I got my power. Like I loved this. I had everything I wanted. I had a bunch of money. I could do like I really did think that it was like this big self-esteem boost.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly did, until like I just kind of sat down, and this is where it's not statistics, it's not human trafficking, it's not that, it's where this is the part where I just want to tell you, like I know why, right?
It's okay.
I know why you're doing what you're doing.
I can handle it.
You are so much better than that.
I know.
And that I think that's why it bothered, and especially now that like I like you, but like I feel that way about all of them when I see people with their OnlyFans content. Like it hurts me more than anything. Like yes, there is the big component of human trafficking. Yes, there is the big my theory and my belief on porn in general. But my thing is just like I want you guys to love yourself, act like more than what because you're worth more than just getting naked for a bunch of weirdos on the internet.
But that's not what I'm doing. Like I said, when I told that promotional comment, I was like, I want to be myself on this. My editing, my creative, my humor is extremely hypersexualized.
I know.
I've always been that person.
I know.
And the lip syncs I'm throwing on there are funny. Like I put myself into it, and I make sure that it's stuff that is like fueling. What my end goal is to really get into do my editing course and to start my own podcast with the equipment and everything.
Yeah.
Is what I like. I don't want to do this forever, but this is a good way for me to make the money because I'm not of good financial means, and like be there for my kid. Like I could just decide, no daycare today, let's go play at the water park. We did that the other day. Like,
yeah,
I have the freedom of that, because like the one thing I will never ever do again is work in customer service. I felt way more degraded there, and I was actually sexually harassed 100 times worse there, because I worked for a car dealership. Yeah, like this is like I have the power to control my own content, and I got into this lane of doing like, because I'm Taylor Swift, do music videos, X-rated music videos, whatever song. And then like I saw this idea, like you can, you have an internet friend who has his bachelor party, send him a Taylor Swift video for his bachelor, something like that was where I was going. I was getting all creative with it. And to me, it's fueling what I'm passionate about, and I'm not feeling that, I'm just throwing my clothes off, I'm being like lazy about it. No. And honestly, I'm looking at myself the whole time. I'm not watching dudes being like, you know what I mean? Yeah. That like you had the experience of stripping where you also have that.
But just because you don't,
the danger of being in close proximity,
like there's still
so.
I know.
So there's dudes that, I hate to tell you, Kat, you're not an ugly chick. There's dudes that have probably watched a video of yours and gotten a little turned on. That's inevitable. The men in Muslim countries where the women are in full garb and they catch a drift of their ankle or like like it's just repression goes nowhere. It just makes them hornier, to be honest. Dudes are gonna sexualize. It's just that men the way they see women, and I'm kind of women look at other women that way too. We objectify. We look at
Mhm.
parts.
Mhm.
That's just it's in their nature, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
Really judgy with clavicles. I
Clavicle.
know it's super weird. I know. Like you got like my big dark secret tonight. Like that's my favorite part of a girl is clavicles in her
Me
back.
too. Me too. And I have really nice ones.
Clavicles in a nice, clavicles in a nice bag. I just
Yeah.
like I want to, but I want to make sure that you have those resources, and I did get them for you.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna
Mhm.
shoot them over to you because
Mhm.
I feel like I will always be against
Mhm.
what you do. You know, I mostly because I just think you're better than that. Like if I'm being completely honest with you, I just think you're better than that. But I want to make sure that you do have the tools so like you can recognize a page that might be being used for trafficking, or you can recognize those signs,
Yeah, that would be great. Actually,
all
yeah.
the
But,
secret signs that a lot of people don't know, because it's like, okay, well, if you're there, you're there. There's nothing that I can do about that. But what I
mhm.
can do is I can give you like, here's all the tools that I have, that and the resources that I have for this, where you can report these pages. You can let somebody know what's going on that's not within OnlyFans, it's out of OnlyFans. And you
Mhm.
know, like
The
you
thing
can
with that is I
ask
don't look at
questions
any
as
other page
well.
but mine. I'm not looking at. I'll look if somebody subscribes. I look at who subscribed. It is usually just a profile picture or whatever, and then I just fill them out
But I
as I
mean,
can.
like,
But I'm not
if
looking
I
at
can
other
send
pages.
you, like,
Mhm.
requests, you know, like, when I did what I did, like, there was a guy that used to want the girls to look as young as what they possibly could, as they possibly could, and a lot of people didn't, you know, put 2 and 2 together. I didn't at the time. You know, I was 18, 19 years old, and I didn't know. I had no clue that all of this stuff went on. I had no clue that, like, just because a club closes doesn't mean the bitch closes, you know, like,
Mhm.
I was very, very ignorant when I
Mhm.
was in that world because of how young I was. And that's why I agree with you on that. Like, oh my God, if we could raise the minimum to like 21, that would be incredible.
Absolutely.
Because I
I
think that
100% agree with that.
you're a
18
little
is way too
bit,
young.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're 18's too young to be doing that. I don't like it at all. But I'm also one of
Mhm.
those people that realizes like everything can't be
Mhm.
my way. And like just because I believe something doesn't mean that everybody else believes the same thing. But I think it's
Mhm.
always beneficial when like you can be like, okay, well, what can we do then that we both kind of agree on with it? And like,
Yeah,
if I,
that's because I am of agreement. Like I see, I know there's evils in it, but
Mhm,
you say, oh, better than that and all that. The sex industry, there's some people that generally pursue it and want it. Like it's not something that is like beneath them because they are empowered. They love themselves enough to just be like, like I'm a sexual being. I'm exploring. Like I've discovered things that explain a lot about myself through this, and I am strong, like way stronger, and being like, hell no, I ain't doing that.
mhm.
Than I would have been at 18, where I've been like, I don't want to hurt his feelings, so.
Yeah.
And then you get some really like some sweet deals where it's like break my dick for money, and you're like, all right, cool.
But see,
Or
like,
like
that's just
smoking
like,
cake, I just sit there in a t-shirt and fucking smoke a cigarette.
that's one thing that like we're not gonna agree. Because I can't, to me, it's always like false confidence because it's this very shallow, it's this very like shallow fulfillment of like beauty and being wanted and being like fetishized and sexualized. And it only goes so far. And it's very like,
Feeling sexy feels good.
it does. No, it does. I mean, I'm not saying that like I'm
Mhm.
snuggling up with my husband at night with a hole in his sheet wearing
Yeah.
Quan John jammies every night.
I
Okay.
mean, you
Like,
send them something and you go, oh, well, damn,
I'm
that
not
feels good,
that girl.
right?
Like, but I also think that like, and this is the part that like I hate bringing this into, but this isn't really an argument. So I feel like this is just kind of like a statement because I just don't like bringing religion into arguments because if
Yeah.
you don't believe what I believe in, then can't be debated. Like it's
I'm
stupid.
agnostic. I believe in a higher power, and
Right.
I fully support
And
all
like
religions. So.
that's kind of how I always was. Like I was a very big like religious tourist. I liked all of
Mhm.
them. I think they're all really cool and beautiful and amazing. And I think we should put them all together and see what happens. But like for me, like the fulfillment and the self like love that I got from that, and then being like in a really healthy communicated relationship as well, like with a
Mhm.
guy, because it wasn't physicality anymore. Like I think a lot of my early 20s and probably up until I got sick, to be honest with you, like
Mhm.
it was always like, well, you got to make sure that it's a great like physical relationship. And but once I had like that different kind of love and then I found God and things like that, that made me feel better than feeling like sexual all the time and wanted all the time, because now I feel wanted on a different level. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it's different. But yes, nothing beats putting on a tight pencil skirt and red lipstick. No, nothing beats that.
I mean, I got a little less interest in the pencil skirt, but but I can see that. I can appreciate that, but not everybody's like that.
I
You
know.
know, some people it's a genuine good feeling for them, and it's a genuine like look at me. Like that's what I'm doing. Like I get mocked all the time because I watch my own content. 'Cause I'm like, Dad, look at me, man. Like when you go through high school and shit, like I was a gawky ass teenager, like this is the best I've ever looked at 34 and a mother. Like and it feels good. I like it. I genuinely like feel it brought more confidence in my words, and I have a whole character now. Like I'm Trailer Swift, and I bring that out in my content, and
But are you
that's
going
what
to
I'm
be
having
okay?
fun doing it because of it.
But are you gonna be okay when Taylor Swift can't be Taylor Swift anymore?
What do you
Like
mean
when
when I'm old?
like when that
I mean,
right,
I'm
like when
aging,
that when that
but
runs out,
that's why I'm pursuing
I want to make sure that like
what I
you
want to do.
still love you when that runs out. So like you have this awesome goal, and I want to see you get there. I do. Like I want to see you doing like your own podcast and your edits and like things that you really love doing.
Honestly, I'd love to edit for porn, for
Jesus Christ.
OnlyFans stars. I would love to, because there's some of them I'm like, man, if you just a couple more transitions in there, it would look really nice. You
Should we
know?
bring the boys in? I can't believe it's already been 45 minutes. We'll bring the
Yeah.
boys
Oh,
in.
that went fast.
We can mix
We
up
have
like
so much fun. It just goes by so fast because we're just like,
boy girl opinions on
yeah.
OnlyFans. I think this is a good twist because like I want to hear like male perspective. So Good Troll gets to go first.
Okay. Well, I have notes.
Oh Jesus. Him and Lizzie with
See,
the
we
notes.
came prepared. The pro sex workers came prepared. I'm just saying.
Well, obviously, like everybody knows, I'm more of a lefty than everybody else.
What?
That kind of goes with the territory.
It's over.
I'm very sex positive, so I'm very like the phrases "you can do so much better" or "this is so beneath you." I really don't see that. Like, there's women that are in porn that have 2 master's degrees and have $30 million. I don't have that
Mhm.
shit, so I can't say that just because someone does something, they are automatically, because of that one thing they did, is now down to that level. I also think there's a huge difference, and I agree with Kat on this when she said something different about how when she got sick, it became different. Like the relationship becomes different. Intimacy is different than lust. Humans are gonna feel lust regardless, and if you don't, then that's fine. But if you're married or you're not married or you have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, doesn't matter. You're gonna see something, you might feel something. That doesn't mean that you're cheating on them. That doesn't mean that you're an unfaithful person. But it's also way different than like when your fucking favorite person in the world has a flat tire. Like you want to drive to them as fast as you can to fix their tire, help them get out of the trouble that they're in on the road. It has nothing to do with the sex. OnlyFans is strictly that. That's it. I'm not going to fucking help some dude like with his tire. Nobody fucking cares about these people. That have money. They want to pay for it. People are doing it for free. This is the safest means to do it, in my opinion, as of right now. Do I think that there's problems with it? Yes. Do I think there's 1,000 times more problems with TikTok and we all do it every single day, like 15 times a day? Yes. So
Mhm.
it's like, also, you guys aren't going to like this. I don't like guns. Surprise. There are more kids hurt by guns in this country every single day than any amount of OnlyFans will ever do combined into the history of the entire being of this world. For the rest of time, guns have done more damage in the last 12 months to children than any porn site will ever. In the last 12 months, they kill children.
Okay,
And
well,
name one kid
hold
that
on.
died from porn.
So you thought he'd be
Hold
the
on.
heated one.
If we're saying by
I'm
the
saying
people who are doing it, but we can't say the entire entity. You can't say that
I mean,
guns
there
have
are
killed
people
more
that
people
get
in the
into
last
sex
year than the porn
trafficking.
industry.
Right. Those are people that are doing bad things in an industry that is not meant.
Right.
Like, in banking, people do that. People
Yes.
kill people in religion. Like every single industry that there is, people die. But what I'm saying is there is no reason to get all up in arms about something that we can't even prove yet. Like there's no studies that say there is 1 out of every 10-year-olds in the United States is on OnlyFans. There's no fucking studies for that. Nobody knows. You can't say this is hurting kids and then turn a blind eye to your next door neighbor literally getting shot.
Well, I can say with full confidence that pornography in a whole does damage children. There
Right,
have
and
been
I'm
studies.
saying if you add it up in whole, it wouldn't even
I have
come
rebuttals
close
to those
Right,
studies.
the amount of
there are
damage that guns
studies
have
that
done to children in the last 12
Hold
years.
on.
But when children are exposed to pornography at a young age,
Same with guns.
there's no studies done on children being exposed to guns with MRI.
there is.
There is with pornography.
There's actually a law against studies
Well,
on
let her
that
finish.
because the government, the Republicans, voted against any CD.
You're veering off into a gun debate, is what
Yep,
I'm.
and it's
No,
not a
I'm
gun
just
debate.
saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you
As
were
a
so worried
Canadian-
about kids, I would have heard one post about this, and I haven't. In 2 years, I've never heard. Okay, this is a huge problem for the future of our country, but I've heard OnlyFans over and over and over in the last couple of weeks, and I think it's because someone had a pause game, and that was it. That's the only reason I could think of.
Okay, so I had done my OnlyFans videos, which I've literally done the entire.
Yeah, I remember. I said I'm not offended. It actually made me start looking.
So I've also done I've done OnlyFans. I've done Pornhub. I've done I picked different ones.
I don't necessarily
No, I know.
single you out. I'm just saying as a whole, as a lefty,
Right.
I'm saying one side is very against sex work, but they're also very pro things that kill children a lot. So I'm just confused on how the sex.
As a Canadian, somebody ran a bus into a daycare the other day. If there's no guns, they find other ways.
One AR-15. That's what I'm saying.
so-
Like, how many pornos does a kid have to watch to go shoot his school? Nobody fucking knows. But I'd rather take the gun away. You guys would rather take.
But
the
we
porn
do
away.
have scientific proof though that pornography at a young age does cause brain damage, which can lead to
It doesn't.
irrational behavior,
I
poor
mean,
decision making, which could lead to shooting up a school.
Brain damage is very those words are very big. Like brain damage.
If-
You got hit in the
If I
head.
could rebuttal to that, if you looked a little bit further into that study, it was debunked because they did not take into account a lot of factors when they were doing that study.
Brain damage.
It doesn't cause brain damage.
No.
There was several factors they didn't take into account. Also, the study they did was too small. It was,
Yes,
and they
it's not
didn't take into account different life. Growing
all the
up,
point was that there's something.
But it did
very
prove that it
dangerous in front of us.
rewired the brain to a juvenile state.
No, it did not prove it because the study was flawed as a whole.
No, the
If
one
you look
that-
up, I wish I had the fucking.
No,
study.
I'm looking at that one. The one that states the brain damage, that's one that I'm looking at. But they can prove that it rewires, that it gives this
That is
can
Yeah,
get
that's
this
not
impact.
really
It's like a
a term.
PTSD
It is-
does on an MRI.
Rewiring is not really a term. Like doctors don't use that as like a real there's no maybe synapses are snapped or there's neurons that are sparked or something, but there's no such thing as rewiring there's no wires.
But when you look at PTSD on an MRI scan, can you tell that someone has PTSD?
Yes.
Yes, and exposing children to porn at a young age can cause
Right,
PTSD.
but you can also sit them in front of a TV that has just birds flying in trees, and part of their brain will fucking light up on the screen, and then you can say like that's affecting their brain. Like when they watch SpongeBob SquarePants, the same parts of the brain are doing whatever they're doing. It's not damaging.
It's lighting, yeah.
Your brain is being exposed to stimuli. It's not damaging anything. The damaging part is telling your kid that they are the devil for watching that. That's the damaging part. But you guys think that the porn part it's not. It's called parenting. If you have a kid that's under 18 years old and he has TikTok or she has TikTok, you're already fucking up.
Yes, I agree.
I'll tell you that right now.
I agree too.
If you're
I agree.
on OnlyFans and you're not arguing about guns every single day that there's a school shooting, then you're already
I'm not.
fucking up.
We need to veer away from the gun.
I'm not doing a gun debate.
It's kids.
That's for another one. I'll take you on a gun debate as a Canadian that has a mess.
Traffic. I'll do traffic collisions. Like traffic collisions do more harm to children than porn does by a lot, and it's not even close. But I get the point that
we could say the same thing with traffic collisions and COVID, but I mean, like,
no, you can't. Within the amount of time that COVID was a thing and traffic collisions were a thing, COVID took kicked the shit out of traffic collisions. It was the number one cause of death for 2 years.
Yeah, no one died of heart attacks or car accidents anymore. Or cancer.
Well, actually,
they did.
But I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to turn it into a political debate. That's not
that's not what we're debating here.
We're not debating guns. We're not debating.
You're coming in hot when we were so zen, bro.
Okay, I'll go back. I'll go back. My next
we can do with the boys. We can just Instagram each other, Lizzie. We let the boys finish off the debate.
My next point was going to be that adults are adults. We are all adults. If you have something that you don't like on this app, why are you on an app that allows 13-year-olds in the first place? Why don't you go to an app that doesn't allow that?
That doesn't allow what?
13-year-olds. We should all not be on TikTok.
OnlyFans.
It's a 13 to whatever
Yeah.
age. Why do we have an app right now where a 13-year-old girl can sign on and everything's fine, and she could literally interact with a 65-year-old man? Why is that?
Shouldn't.
Any of
I agree.
You should
I agree
not.
with that 100%.
However,
there shouldn't be any means for that to be in contact.
Right,
Yeah.
and
There should
everybody's
not.
okay with that.
No, I'm not okay with that,
Then
but
we're
I'm
all
more
using
okay with
it.
her opening up the app to seeing my
She's
video,
not zen.
to seeing my video, giving her the statistics, giving her the warning of working in the sex industry.
Yeah.
I'd
And I
rather
was
her
like,
see
that's
my
great.
video
Right.
than somebody that's naked saying you're going to make a bunch of money doing this.
Right, but I can see that on TikTok. And we all use TikTok. So what I'm saying is, where is the outcry?
The outcry for
She's done TikTok too. She's done it too. Yeah.
The outcry for
But-
TikTok in a whole.
Yes, like why?
Yeah, she's done
No,
it.
I did like this big ass fucking 8-minute
Yeah,
video
she did.
on it and it got taken down.
I didn't like her then, and I saw
I
it
don't mean you.
from a burner.
Like, why are we on it still?
I
Like,
mean
why
the
are we
whole-
on it in a hole still? Like, why?
Right,
do we
like,
do
Yeah,
that?
because the argument you are helping fund it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're addicted to that
Because
shit.
everybody's addicted to it. That's why.
It's literally created for us to get addicted to it and fight with each other. It's
And
created
porn
by the
is
biggest enemy that we have in the entire world, and we're all using it. We're all giving them our data, and we're letting 13-year-olds use the same as a 65-year-old, and we're fighting about stuff that isn't important.
Also, yeah,
Fully.
100%. But I think he's arguing that more so of the ones that were going personal with shit, because the argument was you're literally helping fund this, and I'm like, you're doing that by creating a new account every time you're banned on this
Right.
app.
Everybody that signs
Like-
up to TikTok and creates an account is
Human trafficking can be found in everything, really.
advertising.
No,
And
I
the,
know,
it's not the
agree
most
with
prevalent form of trafficking either.
that. But
The
that
most
is
prevalent
also-
form of trafficking is labor trafficking.
Right, but that's why I choose to do videos that center around how I don't like that, the awareness of that, the you should
And that's fine.
XYZ, more than showing like what the problem is. So
Well, like I said, now because I just didn't want to release any of my arguments by doing that content, but I do want to do more like, hey man, you like, because I'm getting a lot of DMs from people who are like, hey, like, what do I do? I want to start one. I kind of want to just release some like, hey, this is a responsible way to use it. And the information you're going to give me on reporting and stuff, I could include that in there and be like, if you see, you can help.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a safer space for creators like me or who are using it responsibly. So we fill that space by doing this when you do join.
Right. So that we all,
You know, and the harsh realities of it that like, listen, honey, don't think that you're going to make it a big secret and get a bunch of cash. It doesn't work that
It's a
way.
full-time job.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing people don't realize. This is 8 to 12 hours of work a day. If these people
Mhm.
want to make money,
I have to make like when I was with the promotional company, what I noticed, and they were right. You have to make like 30 to 40 pieces of content a day. You can bank them, you know. But it's the promoting. You have to get your name out. Like I have to do it on social media. I would never be anywhere, and I'm not gonna do it on my Facebook with my nana on it.
well, no.
it is
You know?
a weird thing. There's nothing that's never been like this. It's like when Uber just popped up, and you're like, "What? Some dude can drive me
Mhm.
around now?"
A
what the
stranger.
In a
fuck?
perfect world, like an
I was
ex-sex
told
worker
never
or
get in
something,
those cars.
making an OnlyFans style thing and having it more stringent and more focused on safety of the creator would be like, I just would never have the money to make that, but that would be something I would envision, where it's ran by a woman that experienced the worst of the worst and knows what she's doing.
Like
This is just like, how much can I make a buck? Luckily for me in Canada, I barely pay a fee because it ends up I get
Right.
more. But
It
they
didn't
are
let me
taking
cut.
20% from people, you know.
How do you
And
feel
it should
about,
be
like,
it should be like you get a share in stocks on the company and everything because you are the wheel that keeps this company turning. They should be treated better, in my opinion. But you know, it takes money to create that.
how do you guys feel about like legal brothels, like the ones in Las Vegas? That's not.
I'm
safe
all for them.
Like doing.
I'm all for it.
You don't think it's?
I mean, the Johns come in with. I think it's safer. They come in with ID. They get screenings.
Do it.
Yeah.
Like in the street.
Do I think it's safer?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's all my argument is. Honestly,
I can agree
don't
that it's
necessarily
safer.
agree or disagree. I still don't know enough about it. It's
I
still
mean, he's more passionate about my porn than I am.
I'm just.
Tax, did you want to
this is
say
a
anything?
Freedom of choice thing, dude. Let's let everybody do what the fuck they want. Like,
You get a 2-week free trial.
Like own guns. I know. Same.
no, I'm cool with guns.
Oh, I am too. Trust me.
I get the guns. I'm saying.
I mean, you said you'd take me on my first date to a shooting range, so I don't appreciate this.
That was my argument. I don't mind guns.
Right. That's just his arguing point. All right, go talk, speak.
An arguing point. For me, I am on the freedom side of things. As Kat knows that she doesn't like my stance on. I believe prostitution should be legal. I believe brothels should be legal.
Shit.
Do I like it? Hell no, I don't. Personally, I don't. Would I date or marry somebody that's on any of this stuff? No, that was actually a qualification of mine. Whenever the first question that I would ask any woman that I was interested in, do you do OnlyFans? If so, you're out.
That's
Yeah. And that's completely understandable. For any woman to be offended by that, girl, you should have thought about that before you started. Like that whole fresh and fit argument, I'm a fan of fresh and fit. I totally agree. Don't expect to find the man of your dreams doing OnlyFans and get that real traditional value dude.
Right.
I mean, that should be on the table immediately. So totally agree with
I'm
him.
trying to be more like Tex about it because I
Bestie
do
by
myself
proxy.
more middle ground. No, just to where when it comes to there's how I feel personally, and then there's how I
be
feel politically,
realistic.
like as a
Not
whole.
all dudes are like, oh, you're on OnlyFans? Oh my God, hot. Not all dudes are like that.
I believe that people should just be able to do whatever they want to do.
exactly.
Yeah. Now, and then but I really struggle with that disconnect. And I think that that's a lot of our problem is that like we do struggle with that disconnect. So everything does become personal when we try to have discourse or disagreements is because it's become like all of us when it's two separate things. Because like
there were so many people.
No, like I can't.
When we said we were doing this, they're like, you're just fueling the dramas And I'm like, it's a general topic, and you know how hard it is to
Good
find a
topic.
debate on this on OnlyFans. All you
Right.
get is the fresh and fit, getting married bullshit that I agree on. I'm not gonna fucking,
There's
and
so
you'll
many layers
rarely get
to it.
these topics on it, and people just go, well, no, it starts a fight, so I don't want to. Well, it shouldn't be personal.
Yeah.
It's when you make it personal, then I'm gonna snap back with my fucking ass in the picture. But when she was doing it, I was like, oh, really? Like looking into it, and I did like, everybody was expecting me to be offended, and I was like, I'm not offended.
Right.
She's sharing information. She's not saying you're nothing but trash because you did this and you need the validation of men to exist and all this shit. It was
I
just
have
really,
said that to you before. Though.
yeah, but
What?
it wasn't.
Text
There's a
me.
way of doing it.
Your mouth was moving, but I couldn't hear you because Lizzie's.
When I'm with someone, smack my ass and carry me around like a trophy. I like that shit, so that's fine with me.
Text go finish it. I know that was like a weird intro.
I think on if we're talking like politics, the left and the right both get it wrong all the time when it comes to freedom. Because if you're gonna have true freedom, you have to have the freedom to do something or not do it. Same thing as like building a website for a certain political person or not, or baking a cake or anything else. If you want true freedom, you have to have the ability to choose to do something or not do something.
Right.
That's why for me politically, I've told Kat this before. I think all drugs should be legal. Fuck it. I mean, at the end of the day,
Same.
I do believe
yes.
that nobody should be in jail for a victimless crime. So
Amen.
there's that. And if we all truly believe that, then porn, all of that shit should just be legal. Because and prostitution, because there's no victim. It's an exchange for goods and services.
And
Whether you
it's the
like
same
that
thing-
goods or services or not.
And I just want you to know that when I say things like you're better than that, like I'm not trying to be mean. Like I
No.
Did I sound offended? Go. It's
No,
fine.
but like
That's the worst I've ever heard.
it's like you catch more flies with sugar, right? Like I don't want to be offensive because I'm not talking about.
You're not.
I'm
You're
just
not.
like,
You're complimenting me because
I
you
think you're
you
really
just.
great,
You're,
and I think that you could do great things, and like I hate porn, and I'm really
It's
uncomfortable.
one.
I'm doing great things on OnlyFans, man. My editing has gone up with that shit. You know, but
10 years, you guys might change complete different opinions. Like nobody knows what's going to happen. So,
But mind
it's
you,
just-
too, I think when Kat says that somebody is better than that, it's not how much money they
Right.
have, or because ourself as a person has more value than the two dudes that just went down to try to look for the Titanic right now.
mhm.
They
Yeah,
were billionaires.
I'm just.
But
my whole point
the
was
thing that sets me apart, I feel, is I'm creative. I do the editing.
I say that like
There's humor in it.
At the end of the day, that's what Kat's saying. Like you're more than having to show yourself however
Right.
you show yourself. It don't bother me at all.
right. And my point was just because that's happening, like if George Clooney's wife, who's a lawyer that does like international modeling and work, if she just decided to go into a glamour shoot and show off her bits and crannies, like I'm not going to judge her. She's literally an international civil rights lawyer that knows 9 billion times more about the world than I do. And just because she poses in a video doesn't mean I don't know. I think it was just the way people say it and the ease that with people say like you're better than that. Like I get what you're saying, but it's also like there are women that are way better than all of us that do it, and they've made millions and millions of dollars.
And I think that they're better than that.
Right.
After like a year. No, but they only did it for like a year, and they made.
I
30
know,
million.
and they're better than that.
Thing that
They're
we
better
do
than
know
that.
is the porn industry as a
Everybody's
whole
better than that.
does lead to trafficking. We all know this. Like there's no
It's no secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
like,
can't dispute it, good troll.
that's
you
like
can
saying
try.
the internet. That's like saying the
But
But
internet.
it's in
Yeah,
everything.
Hold
It's
on.
in
Yes,
everything.
the internet
Right.
too.
Right.
Internet
Anything.
searches, a lot of things aided human trafficking.
Right,
I'm-
but what are you using it for? Like sexual acts is participating in that. Like, so it's
Right.
what does it lead to? Does the internet always lead to human sex trafficking? No. Does
No.
porn?
Both.
Yes, it's got a greater chance of getting there quicker than the internet does.
Right.
And so we all know that, and so that's where Kat's is her. That's always been something that Kat has always
Yeah.
on. is porn in general, not just OnlyFans.
Right.
Mhm.
The
But
internet.
the argument on for OnlyFans, it's a lot more difficult for them to do it
But
through
it's not.
OnlyFans
It's
than
not.
Pornhub.
It's
For
not.
Pornhub, they could just do it through Pornhub way easier.
And here's my challenge to you, Lizzie, because when this debate was supposed to go on, I was first notified about it. I actually did kind of create a troll account just to watch videos, more specifically yours, Lizzie, just to show you, because you had no idea I was looking. You said you can. You said you can control who watches your videos. You had no idea.
Not on OnlyFans.
Oh, you mean on TikTok?
Yeah. No, not on OnlyFans. Absolutely.
No, not on
I could-
OnlyFans. No.
Okay, I control who follows me and likes my video. I see who it is.
No, you don't. Because I have all that turned off on my side. If I have it turned off on my side, you can't see it.
Okay.
So that means if you don't have any control on who sees your profile, who sees your videos, or anything.
But you're a full grown man with that idea in mind of doing that. Not a kid just randomly scrolling an FYP and landing on me of all people.
Do you know who taught me that? My 14-year-old stepdaughter.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't you have to have a name to search?
What do you mean?
Like, can you just? I've never been on it, so I don't know. Can you just go on?
Yeah, it would be. It would have to be. They knew to look for me.
No, this
Like
is
you
not
knew to.
TikTok.
I'm
Troll.
talking-
Yeah, but he knew to look me up. And
Yeah.
but the likelihood I'm on the FYP of a 14-year-old is very unlikely.
I will give
I'm
you
not
that.
interacting with them.
I will give you that. The likelihood is low. Yeah.
Right.
You went out and looked me.
Like they would just.
I thought you were talking about OnlyFans, and I almost had a fucking heart attack.
Oh,
I knew you did, and I just I let it ride for a minute because I knew that you were talking about TikTok. That your face was epic, and it's gonna make for a really nice clip after this.
I was
Where we
like,
at? We're at
I'm
101.52.
scared of your wife. Please don't do that.
But it was just to prove that you can't control who sees your videos.
On TikTok, no.
Nor can you.
I
see
can't,
who
but
sees
I
your
can't.
videos.
But what my argument was is the likelihood.
And you can control it much more than you can on other platforms.
What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Who sees
Oh,
your
sorry.
videos?
What on TikTok?
On TikTok?
I'm almost done.
No,
Okay?
you can see
I'm
who's.
almost done. Hold
You
on.
can control who sees your videos on OnlyFans way
No,
more.
yeah, we were talking about TikTok.
We were never.
Yeah.
on
Yeah, we weren't talking about OnlyFans. The
Yeah.
whole conversation was about.
Yeah, I almost stopped breathing, and I was like,
Yeah, no.
okay. But my argument also was like the likelihood I'm on the FYP of a 14-year-old.
Tiny. The funny thing is most of the fucked up shit about any technology I have always learned from teenagers. They all know it.
Yep.
I've had teenagers teach me how to make fake text messages if need be to prove a text message that was fake on me.
Yep.
These
We were
kids,
it was me
I tell
texting
you,
Dana.
all truly underestimate these teenagers.
We really do
Because these kids know way more than you think that they do.
And do you think banning
my daughter had
and
overheard
stopping
us-
it will stop them? Like I said, I used to watch the jumbled where you're just like, oh shit, there's a dick. Like it's gonna happen.
No, I know it's going to happen, but we can try to do our best to soften the blow.
Open communication with your children and no judgment is a huge thing.
I agree that
Huge.
I agree that 98% of this is parenting.
No,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I
Okay,
think
but
the
here's-
rest
And there's amazing parental porn blocking apps
Yes.
if you're truly
Hold on.
afraid. But honestly, if your kid has a cell phone, you pick it up every night and you look at what they're doing.
That all sounds great. My parents were great parents. Do you know how much fucked up shit I got away with? Yeah, all of y'all did too. And I'm sure all of
Honey,
y'all
do you know who you're talking to?
Yeah.
exactly. So my point is this: we can sit there and say it's all about the parenting and everything else. Technology far superior than what we ever could have dreamed of on our side, and can't keep up with it like the kids can. That's the sad thing at the end of the day. I used to get porn when I was a kid. Do you think my parents liked me to watch porn? Hell no. No, they would have beat my ass if I got caught.
Mhm.
Like, that's what I'm saying. And then not only this, and here's the other challenge that I'll give you, Trailer Swift, whatever your name is this. I was going to call you Yo Lizzie, but
Don't call me Mini Misfit.
We
No.
won't, trust me.
I don't like
That's a promise that all three
I
of
was
us.
playing. I was just playing.
Like, shit, I
Okay.
shouldn't do the misfit.
I'm mini
thing.
cat now. Okay.
She read the room. She read the room.
I mean, we talk about the likelihood, but the thing is, on any of this is if the kids are going to want it, especially on TikTok. And here's why. We all know that as boys and men are very visual human beings. If a boy comes across something on the FYP,
All people know that I'm on this.
and there's a hot chick, that boy or girl is attracted to them, looks at their bio and sees they have a spicy page and they're under 18, I guarantee most kids will jump through hoops if it's something that's attractive enough just to get to their OnlyFans. Guaranteed.
Yeah. They will.
I mean, yeah, but is that so prevalent?
Let's
No.
just, hold on.
Bet you it is.
Stop. Instead of arguing it in a defensive mode or an aggressive mode, like we're all allowed to just be sad about that.
Oh, I'm not aggressive
Like-
whatsoever. No. That is it is something that's going to happen. You need
Right.
to check
Like,
phones and computers. And
I just
this
think
house and get them to
people-
show you. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Like jumping
To me,
through
it's-
hoops doesn't sound like something that like it could just easily be bypassed by going to www.weallknow.com and they don't have to deal with any hoops. Like, yeah, they might have, oh my God, I have to see this person. And
You can
that's
Google
it. But
boobies and
you don't have
penis and you're going to
pay,
get
but you
porn.
don't
I
have
mean,
to
you
pay
can make
for the
excuses,
99%.
but here's the thing. We all know that we have seen, especially when we were little and porn was a lot harder to get, that there was always that one person that we always wanted to see naked as a don't act dumb, bro. I'm not. Oh, okay. Apparently, you're probably the only dude that did. Maybe you like guys. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I did. But
I do. I'm
Thank you.
bisexual.
Thank
See
you.
this
Like
pin?
I do.
See this pin?
Right. And so we did jump through hoops to try to find how to get it, how to look
Mhm.
at what we wanted
No,
to
that's
look at.
that's weird, man. You would just go to the website now.
Well,
If
talking about when
someone
we're
Right,
said
kids
but that
now.
didn't
10
exist.
things to
Who'd
do
have thought
something,
the
or you
dudes
have to
would
do
be the
one
most-
thing.
But
If
that
you have to
didn't
do 10
exist.
things, or you have to do one thing, but you get the same result. I'm not saying like I want to see Britney Spears.
Well, regardless, there's a paywall on mine.
Paris Hilton's video that bad? Is that what you're saying? Like, who was your?
Yeah,
example?
I
Give me your
actually spoke
example.
to a few people that bought that, but like they would like regardless. Like I said, when I was working for Comcast, like it was a problem there. Like the kid got access to your be better with your fucking credit card. Watch your fucking like it's going to exist, and I would rather it exist on a platform like OnlyFans, but better. Where it's safer, where like the sex workers said, like don't take this from us because you're putting us in the hands of pimps and traffickers when you do it. This is giving us the option of exit. If I don't want to do it anymore, I don't have to, and I don't have to do anything I don't want to do.
So we're
And the
like,
problem
I agree
I
with
find
you.
is it's just like do it for more money, and it shouldn't be that way. The great thing about OnlyFans is I decide what I fucking do, and nobody else tells me what I'm doing.
Well, like just to go off of your point, like of the when you like, I still believe though that like yes, it's a huge parenting issue. Parents should be parenting, whatever. I also believe that as a whole, right? Like
I can hear
us-
you. Yeah.
like us as a whole, as a community, as a planet, as a people, as a whatever, should be trying to do our best. It takes a village. Like we should be trying our best to not be putting out things into the world, that are yucky too. So
I think we just
Yucky.
shouldn't have an app
No,
where
but-
18-year-olds
no,
are
I'm
sharing
sorry,
the
I
same
didn't mean
app with
yucky,
a
but you know what I mean.
13-year-old.
No, I'm kidding.
We
I'm
should
just-
be
I'm
also
just
be more
playing with you.
mindful about
But at the same time, when you shield them from it, right, as best as you can. But you need to realize that your children are going to be out in the world. You're going to go to the beach. There's going to be a half naked bitch in a fucking thong bikini walking by them. What are you going to do? Your kid is going to grow up to be a horny teenager. It's going to happen. And they're going to look at their teacher in a tight fucking turtleneck, and it's going to get them going. You know what I mean?
Somebody needs your
I'm not,
somebody needs your attention for a minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the whole show
Oh,
so that she can get her attention. And there it is.
that's very on character. What
You had your attention.
do
for the
you
night.
want,
for coming.
Levi?
Nope, that's it. That's all the attention that she's gonna get. Continue what you were saying.
Thank you. So where was I? Levi. So yeah, so it's just the world is they're horny. They're gonna see something. It's gonna activate it regardless if OnlyFans is there or not. A lot of it too is like people enter sexual depravity when they it's like the depravity of it is what's turning them on. So it's that it's no, this bad is what's making them want to do it. So easy access to it gets them off, and that repression and feeling they don't go out and like do the aggressive, because there has been studies on the brain, and they were trying to prove that sexual depravity and aggression was caused by porn, and it was like they did a study, and then that was another flawed one. Same thing, it didn't take into account personality traits, addiction, because there is porn addiction. It should be talked about a lot more, but it also is only talked about as if that is all the people who watch porn. No, people in majority are watching porn at a healthy level. Couples watch porn at a healthy level, and it actually helps. It's not this like every dude is going to be impotent because that's all they're doing hours a day. Like most of the time it's healthy.
What the hell is a healthy level?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Watching porn?
Yeah.
What is a healthy level?
What's a healthy? Well, definitely. What's a healthy level of TikTok use? Because I would say we all fucking have a problem with that. But I would say, like, I wouldn't be able to say a measure, but I would think like for a dude, like once a day, get off once a day.
If we can measure what a healthy level is to make
think of it like alcohol. Think of it like alcohol. Like you can have a beer a day instead of having.
Everybody's calling me.
But you can have a beer a day.
She's not saying it's great. She's just saying
I'm just saying
do it without.
There's healthy, and then there's a problem.
Right.
There's healthy drinking. How much would you say is healthy drinking?
Right. That's what you say.
Have a beer too, once in a while. And then there's alcoholism. There's support.
Are people calling her on purpose to be jerks?
Probably.
Sorry, whoever the hell is calling me repeatedly, stop doing that.
Is it just like a blocked number?
Yeah.
You know who
repeatedly.
it is.
Too.
Yeah.
You guys know who it is. They were just in here trying to get your attention. It's very obvious. That's very sad. That's very sad that you would choose this time to do that. Are we serious?
She needs to put it on like airplane or do not disturb.
Can you put it on do not disturb?
I don't even know.
This is beyond pathetic. The show is basically wrapping up. You guys can't give her 15 more minutes to just exist in something that has nothing to do with you. You can pick it back up. It's not going anywhere. The drama's always going to fucking be there. Let people have their little spaces from time to time. You fucking psychos.
I think
we should probably, you know what though? Because like I'm real mad just because I know what's going on with her besides them just being assholes right now while she's trying to have another life. So like this is going to get me really pissed, and then they're going to get a really great clip of me saying some shit that I will never live down. So we'll just cut the episode.
Someone
that's
just said,
so annoying to me. It's so annoying to me.
Luna. I'll tell you what happened.
You did nothing.
No, I'll tell you what happened. Ruthless Rebel posted my sister today, and I asked her because we made the agreement last night to take all the videos down. And I said, hey, can you take that video down? She said, fuck you. And then I said, okay. And then I told her exactly what I'll do. And now Luna's pissed.
It's just ridiculous. Like this episode had nothing to do with TikTok. It had nothing to do with anything drama related.
Nope.
And you have to make it about
Stop
you every
calling
time.
Me. First of all, the agreement was I'm not chiming in on shit, so it has nothing to do with me. I am not chiming in. That's his fucking problem. He can deal with it.
I made an agreement. I made a fucking agreement for you guys to stop. Just not.
I'm not chiming in on it, so stop calling me trying to get me involved.
So done.
I don't even have a TikTok anymore.
Stupid TikTok.
I don't even have an account.
It's just stupid TikTok shit. Anyways, yeah. We appreciate you guys both coming on.
Mm-hmm.
And until this part, was quite
Sorry
nice.
about that.
No, I think we're all in agreement. Actually,
It's not
That's the
your
crazy
it's
part.
not your fault, and I do like
Mhm.
it. I think that like I do like that. I didn't want to take it political, but Tex, kind of love you for taking it political, because then you just remind everybody that we all just want to do whatever the fuck we want to do, and like be free. But there's
Mhm.
gotta also be like
And
some.
honestly,
It's
you're
dicey.
I
And
will
I'm gonna
have a
get
little bit of a
you.
sassy rebuttal to the better than you are in no position to tell me what I am better than. I do love myself, and I wouldn't do anything that I feel is beneath me.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think Tex was right when he said that the internet is growing faster than we can deal with. That's the problem. Like, we don't know how to make laws on it fast
Mm-mm.
enough. We don't know how to parent it fast
To
enough.
me,
We don't know how to
it's at
monitor
the
it
hands of
fast enough.
an honest app
But if it goes
creator.
back
Would
to
be
doing
great.
whatever we want to do, like in
For
theory,
20
shouldn't we
years,
just
we
let
were
it run?
tagging ourselves.
Yeah.
We were tagging ourselves on Facebook and giving locations and tagging
Yeah.
our friends and just
Yeah.
giving it to
Snapchat, all
Facebook.
this shit. Yeah.
We just did it for 20
Yeah.
I
years
mean,
for no reason.
Snapchat
We
is
just gave it
fucking
all away.
dangerous.
We gave it
Snapchat
all
is
away.
fucking dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like, that
crazy
shit
how
is
quick we gave it
scary.
away.
That's why I wanted to have the discussion. Is this isn't just about one site or one platform or anything.
No.
We're all hypocrites when it comes to using all these things that we can't actually monitor fast enough.
If you're using anything in
real time.
entertainment, you're contributing.
It's hard.
I know,
You're
it's
watching a
crazy, like,
movie, you're
we
going
want
on a
the
Disney
whole-
cruise, you're watching Disney. Disney's fucked up. And I mean, that fucked me up as a Wish Foundation kid to find out those kinds of things.
Dreamlight Valley.
No, I do. Oh yeah, Dreamlight Valley, bitch. Come on now.
Oh yeah, I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to it.
I mean, there's no chess. I hope on
Here's
that.
Dana right now. You're gonna call me
Roblox?
the fuck out? You're gonna
Roblox
call
is
me
scary
out,
as fuck
Where's your
too.
wife?
Yeah, she's usually out here on podcasts with me.
And
but
where is
now
she?
She's in there playing that fucking Dreamlight Valley too.
I mean, I used to be a gamer. I was an avid gamer, so, but I played more shit with guns. But yeah,
I only played Blitz and Halo.
I played Gears of War, Fallout, BioShock, shit like that.
Nah, I'm a dorky.
Far
game
Cry,
fan.
Far Cry.
James
fun.
Bond. I played
Harry
007.
Potter. All the Fable series, every Final Fantasy. I'm like a dork. It's gross, but
Unbelievable
it's
that
fun.
it was like that needed my attention immediately, and she needs to constantly interrupt it by like what? Imagine living in a world like that.
I
I don't
hope
even
you. I
have
hope
a
you figure
TikTok.
that out after the show.
You know what I'm gonna figure out? Leave me the fuck alone. Like I'm not gonna chime in. That's my agreement. So you deal with it. Like
All right, we're not gonna get into that because I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
That
Let's
said-
text that shit.
y'all have a great evening.
and thank you guys for coming.
thank
on.
you, bestie. Okay.
You're welcome.